Shop talk time, people. This is where I bring like real life experiences, the highs, the lows, the sads, the moodiness. And I bring it to shop talk and we talk about changing people's lives. Roger, I got Roger in the building, man.
Yeah, man.
Kick it off. So Roger, what's been going on this start of the year? I'm going to tell you about me. Tell me your goods, the bads.
Bro, the good, the bad, and the ugly, as I say. Anyway, but now the good stuff. I think obviously this is about fitness and whatsoever. For myself, it's I put it in last summer, bro. Put it in. I purposely did a lot more cardio after football training. I went home and I jogged 5 miles each time and walked a couple miles, kilometers, a lot shorter, and I found a difference. And I'm a couple games away from the season and I've played 90 minutes every game, man. And,
okay, so 90 minutes every game. Right, how many games have you played?
And in the season, you probably end up playing about 27 games.
So you played 27 games straight over a period of?
From since September till now.
Okay, yeah. So September to now.
Yeah.
Okay, and the thing about it is on your team, like, how have you done? Have you won most of them? Where are you guys? Where are you guys?
We win and lose. We're mid. We're kind of a mid-table because we're like cloud and we're trying to merge young players with older players. It's been a bit of a trial this season. So it's been fun. But the problem is, as being the oldest player, you want to pass on. But I don't know. We'll get on to talking about youngsters these days. But
I'm going to ask you the real question now.
Go.
All right. How does it feel knowing that you're one of the fittest ones on your football team and you're the eldest one?
It's good and bad, bro. Because, bro, when we were teenagers, could somebody who's almost 50 kill us on the pitch?
No.
It could never happen. And I want the youngsters to finish me, but it's either I'm a mutant or
or do you know
I don't know what it is, bro.
Okay.
But I'm like saying to them, I cannot be second, third, or fourth in the runs in training, and you telling me you want to start over me. That can't run. You know what I'm saying?
And the thing about it is, has it just been this season or has it been
It's a continued issue. I continue try and train well. We know since I turned 40, I've been training with yourself. Before then, I never trained at all, apart from playing football. So I had no concept of how to eat and train. But I think from the age of 40 onwards, I started to change that, which benefited my muscles. I actually think I would have retired by now because my hamstrings were kind of feeling them at certain stages, but I didn't realize that I just weren't doing certain things to strengthen them. So
if we put it out there, so a lot of the people who are in the 40s and 40 plus and stuff, who may feeling that, you know what, their time is finished. They did play football when they were in their 20s. And probably went on to 30s and then they retired. Good point. I want you guys to resonate with this. Did you give up too soon before your time? Because there was probably things that you should have done, but you didn't do, and you had to just end up giving up. But going on to where Roger is right now, still playing football today, going up to his 50s, and he's still out running.
Next year.
Yeah, okay. Still out running the teams. So we are in a state, I would actually believe, it's not about your capability, it's about how you look after yourself.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think eating, and the thing is, one of the youngsters, he's about 20, about the same age as my son, he's about 22, 23, I played against, and he said to me, when I beat him to the ball and so on, and he said to me, it's not fair, you train every day. Mike, do I train every day?
Okay. No, you don't train every day. But however, I'm going to go into a mindset, and I have to say,
okay, cool. Talk to you.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about pencils and markers, and everybody knows about Mikey Spice. Mikey will mention about these pencils and markers. And the whole concept is that, a pencil, basically there's people this year who've written down, their goals and their aspirations they want to achieve this year. But however, they've probably written it down in pencil. And when times have got hard, they've actually rubbed it out and they've chosen something else that's a lot more easier than what they really want. However, a marker, when you write it down in a red pen, it's erasable. You can't erase it. And you keep on working at it until you actually achieve it. Now, in saying that, okay, we're at a stage in life where the reason why you're still around right now is because you came with a marker mentality.
Okay, cool.
You had a vision, what you wanted. Okay, you've written it down, said I want to be able to play in later years, and I still want to keep my speed. I still want to outdo like little teens and the rest of it. Okay, and you've done everything in place to make that happen.
But the thing is, Mike, like on the real, like I don't understand it. How have I kept my speed? It's and I'm not deluded about it. I am. It is what you see me train. Mike's the only guy who trains me. I do a bit of I play football, and then we got a trainer, Elite. Big up to Turner. He does a bit of some stuff on top, but primarily you train. What am I doing to my muscles that's allowing me to maintain my speed? Because I don't do no heavy duty thing. What am I doing that's maintaining this?
What I see you do is consistency is the key, and I've always said it. Anything in any industry, consistency is key, and that's in your business, that's in your personal life, your relationships. But you've made it consistent. I see that you go for numerous walks, and if you're not walking, you turn up at football. Okay, and you train, you only train once a week, but however, you're always there every once a week to always do it. Or sometimes two. So I'm saying is that because you've been making it consistent, your body doesn't know any different. But when you take time out and then you go, I'm missing a week, I'm missing 2 weeks, I'm missing 3 weeks, I don't do my walks, then guess what you're doing? You're teaching your body to do a new pattern. So in a sense, you're in the stage where your mind is in it, okay? But then you've also ingrained it in your body. Now I'm going to ask you a question. Do you feel, when you don't feel right, okay, are you a feeler in the sense that you feel your body when it doesn't feel right?
Yeah, well, for me, it feel right. Like I feel like
if you don't move, if you sit down for ages.
Oh, I hate it. I absolutely. I hate like spending. I've never been that guy who likes to be in bed all day. I remember. I never forget COVID, and remember when they told us to stay in the house and stuff. Yeah, bro. I didn't think how much it would affect me. Yeah. I hated it, but and that's when I started doing 7K walks straight away. As soon as we can go walk outside, I was walking like crazy. So for me, my body has to be engaged. I don't feel right if my body is not engaged, and I actually feel it.
How do you? Okay, let me ask you a question. If you had to do the two, sit down, and move, okay, which one do you engage better in? Do you concentrate better when you're moving and thinking, or when you're sitting down and thinking?
I give you an insight. You see this studio area that we're in now, yeah? So it's empty like this, and I make a call to you, and I'm making a business call. A lot of times, if I can, I will put my headphones in, and I talk while I'm walking.
Okay.
So we're walking away, so when I'm standing up.
Right. So, it goes back to this. A lot of people feel that, we don't want to burn energy, so I'll sit down and I'll lie down in bed. But however, when you lie down in bed, you're not thinking at your optimal state. This hence the reason why when you move, okay, you release energy. And you can imagine when you release energy in the body, you become more enthusiastic. So you speak more enthusiastic, your brains are more awake, you're more sharper.
Yeah.
Versus you're sitting down.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, it doesn't feel as sharp as it does.
Here's the thing though, what I do, and I must admit, I do sneaky things like this. I don't know if you do this, Mike, yeah? Is that everything around me I make into exercise. So for example, I'll come up them stairs, because I'll go up these stairs every day at the studio. If anybody who's been to the studio, you have to go like literally 3-4 flights of stairs, yeah? Nothing too heavy, but I will consistently, whether I'm mash up, my legs are tired from training or sports the day before, whatever I do, I can maintain a consistent speed. I don't stop, and I maintain it. And every step, I engage my muscles. I make sure I just turn it into exercise. When I go to the shops and I'm carrying bags, it's like I do my shoulders like I don't know. Yeah, he's smiling, because I'm thinking Mikey does it as well. You get the bags and when you just do some extra stuff like this, just go work it. Let me get 10 reps in. I don't know. Is that the sort of stuff that you would do?
Yeah, and it is. It is. I'll be honest with you. Yeah, you can see. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
The thing about it is, if a lot of people say they haven't got time, but what it is, they probably have got the time, but they're not engaged in the moment. And I say that now because I'm going to give you a scenario of myself. Sometimes we tell ourselves, well, we're not present in the moment. And a lot of us, we live our life, that we're not present in the moment. We're just there. Somebody gave me a code to a toilet, and I must have asked him about 3 times. I couldn't remember the code. And the person was like, yo, it's only 4 numbers. Okay. And I was like, I went back to him straight away and I was like, sorry, I don't remember numbers. And I carried on, flew out my mouth. And then I went to there and I put it in and I was like, what am I telling myself? I don't remember numbers. I was like, yes, I do. I remember my own phone number. Thinking all these things that I do remember the numbers. And I was like, what am I telling myself? I'm telling myself that I don't remember numbers, but that's a lie. So I went back to him and I was like, you know what? I apologize. I do remember numbers. I don't know why I'm telling you this. I said, you know what it is? I'm not being present in the moment for me to remember the number.
Okay.
I haven't forgot the number again.
Okay. Yeah. So you gave yourself that kind of like not accepting to be beaten. You know what I'm saying? But a task.
Yeah, and I wanted to be present. When he was giving me the number, I wasn't present in the moment. Now the thing about it is we're going through life, our day to day, and we're not present in the moment. And we're missing the opportunity of when we could do something to increase our fitness and health and our well-being. We're missing that moment because we're not present. So for instance, when you're picking up the shopping bags and you're picking up the shopping bags, okay, you're present in the moment that it's a challenge. Right. You pick it up and you're like, right, walking with these bags, shoulder up, back straight, head up, breathe, and you're doing it. Okay? When you come up the stairs, you're present in the moment of, right, I'm going to get up these stairs as quick as I can, and I'm going to put a little bounce into it so I spring up the stairs. A lot of people are just lifting their legs and they're walking up the stairs. And because they're not present in the moment, they're thinking about how hard it is, or they may be thinking about they've got to do the shopping later, or they're just thinking, I'm just getting by the day. It's partly of pattern recognition, recognizing where we are in the day and are we present in the moment.
That's a lot of present. So what you're saying, a lot of people are just passive throughout the whole day. Passive.
But the thing about it is, the saddest thing is,
just allow life to push them, the pencils basically.
The problem is everyone's not present in life, and then we miss the moment, and we wake up one day and think, where's my life gone? Because we've never been present in the moment about our physical well-being, our mental well-being. You know, when we're talking to people, we're talking and sometimes we're not even concentrating.
True. And I think that being present is something that I think a lot of us do you reckon life distractions? Is it life taking our mind out of the situation?
Life's got us not really right, got us thinking and got us not being present. I'll give you an example. I'm telling you, I love looking at like films like Gladiator and Last King of Scotland and all these like war films, or do you know what I mean? But I'm telling you, when you're on a battlefield, if you treated life like a battlefield and you think that you're on the line with all those people and you see that you've got to survive through that, you got to get to the other side.
You got to be on it.
You are going to go down there and you're going to be fully in concentration about where you don't care about a sword might come out, a bow and arrow might come out, but you're going to be fully in the moment. And that's what we're missing. We're just walking through the battlefield, but we're not seeing the swords, and we're not seeing like anything coming our direction until it hits us, and then we have to wake up.
No. It's almost like a reactive kind of mode. You know what I'm saying? A reaction. So when it comes to we're looking at obviously health and our fitness and our well-being and whatsoever. It's like we react to the situation that we have, what the doctors told us. That's when people more likely come to your doorstep and say, Mikey, I need your help because the doctor said I'm overweight, or my doctor said this, or I've got this, I got this. You say, why do you feel that, why aren't we changing the way you got so much information around us now, yeah?
The reason why people are not changing and people are not doing it, because the reason of them doing it is not serious enough. And I'll be honest with you, anytime anybody has gone through a great severe of pain, that's when they've had to change. So it's only when pain comes, then you'll take note and you'll listen. However, I always say, like Tony said it great, and I love his saying, like, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. But everyone wants to get ready rather than stay ready. That's the reason why everyone goes to the gym and they'll go for a holiday and they'll get ready for their holiday.
Yeah, man.
But then after the holiday, they won't stay ready. And then they fall off, and then it's like our new holiday again. And like holiday season's coming, so I'm taking intake of people that want to get ready this time, but this time they want to keep it off and they want to remain sharp through the whole year. Give me a call, because like I'm looking at new candidates, but you got to have a marker mentality. I'm not taking any pencils that want to rub it out when times get hard. Just letting you know.
But Mike, doesn't it irritate you trainers when people come to you for like 3 months a year? That's between now and July, just to get their bodies ready, and then you don't see them again.
You know what?
Until after Christmas.
You know what? Yeah.
Or is that just the nature of the business?
Do you know, it's the nature of the business, but yeah, it doesn't. And I'll be honest with you, my whole concept, because I've been working so much on the mindset.
Yeah. Is against that, isn't it?
Yeah, is that I'm challenging people.
Yeah.
And now, especially when I created pencils and markers, any of my clients don't like to be called a pencil. And because they're so aware about what they want now, where it's written down in red pen, and then they can see for themselves and feel, am I being intentional about what I want, or am I being a pencil about it?
The thing is, I was teased one time when you said about the pencil to me. People, there's different types of pencils as well. That makes it worse. For me, you got them pencils that you use in Argos. They're one-use pencil. Some of us is one-use, dash it away. You know what I'm saying? Pencils. Some of us, you can use a sharpener to sharpen back up and use again still. And then you get them big carpenter's pencils that are there to make decent a thick pencil, but it still gets rubbed out. And then you go into the marker mentality, you know what I'm saying? So some of us are like, you almost get in there as a pencil, but you're not quite there. And some of them are just absolutely so bad at pencil, it's unreal. You know what I'm saying? One use, whatever comes in mind, whatever you put in front of you. And I think that it's amazing now when I look at today's coaching. If I knew what I know now, if I had exposed the information that young people have now, why aren't the young people engaging with physical well-being as much as what we did? Because
and it gets onto that. We're gonna go into the happy hormones, which is dopamine.
Okay, cool.
Dopamine. I forgot the rest of them now. It was dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin.
Okay, cool. Yeah, let's go there. Let's go there.
Basically, dopamine gets released out through food, exercise. Okay. These are things that like make us.
No, that's a good point here. So dopamine is which makes you feel good, correct? Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can get there between 2 ways. The 2 ways are you saying is through food, yummy food, yeah. You know what I'm saying? You say, or exercise. Bro, if you tell somebody you can feel good, which one they're going for, bro?
Wow, this is the problem.
And according to Instagram, we all know what people go for quicker.
Bro, yeah. They go for the easiest option, which is going to be, the
oxtail rice.
Okay. Yeah, so when they go to do that now, you can imagine, okay, yeah, when you go, okay, so dopamine is like food, okay, saying, achieving a goal.
Yeah.
Completing a task and self-care.
So what about alcohol?
Okay. Then endorphins by exercise, listening to music, watching TV, watching movie and laughter. Okay. Right. So when we go to dopamine,
go on.
Which is eating food.
Yeah.
We all get that sensation. Yeah. But the problem is we've got a situation that we don't know when to switch off.
Portion control.
Yeah. So we're just having more and more and more and more dopamine.
Yeah.
Like the cakes, the sugars, okay? Then we've got there's other people who achieve dopamine, and which is yourself, I would say is more in achieving a goal.
Okay. Yeah.
So, and I'm probably the same as well. Like if I give myself a task and I do it and I achieve that goal, I feel amazing.
Yeah,
okay.
Man. It's like me installing these new things. I'm coming here now. This is my first podcast with these new arms. I'm going, ooh.
Yeah. But it also falls into also completing a task. Because sometimes we're task driven and we've got a task to do and we knock them off and do. So you can imagine we can...
Remember we used to have on the tables things to do list? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So when you have a things to do list, you don't realize you're engaging with dopamine every day. Yo, I need to get myself one printed because there's a things to do list like boom, 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 boom. I've got that book. I need to go back.
And
to
then we've got self-care activities.
Like what?
Brushing your hair, putting your makeup on, getting your hair shaved.
That's why women take so long.
Yeah. So this is, and I'll be honest,
women getting high off dopamine, getting changed for 1 hour.
But I've seen this a lot with the self-care, with women. They'll be there, doing their hair and they'll be for ages just doing their hair.
Sweet, man.
Okay. And it's part of the self-care treatment. Or they're having like a long shower, like really long shower, or soak in the bath. That's part of all self-care.
All right, got confession, yeah? Ain't gonna lie. So, guys, you see, I've got hair, yeah? So, I've never grown my hair this long I never started growing my hair till growing my hair long. I used to clean off my hair like I had no hair since I was a teenager. So I never grown in my hair this long since I was a baby, 3-4 years old. That's the last time I had long hair like this, yeah. And it come to a point when I could have just cut my hair off and just forget it, yeah. But just looking after your hair, I'll go, yeah man, you do my hair now. It makes me feel sweet. So, you know what I mean? That's an easy dopamine thing. So, you know what I'm saying? When I put the thing up and I decide what shea moisturizer I'm going to use on there and stuff like that still, and all that business. Don't worry, Mike can't relate, but.
No, I do. If you can imagine, like me, I'm always, a lot of the time, I'm always shaving. And I'll be honest with you, like I feel amazing when I have a shave and stuff like that.
Hence why the mirror's in the studio.
Okay.
It's like,
And then we've got endorphins. Okay, which is endorphins is a painkiller. That's what they call it.
A painkiller?
Yeah, it's like a painkiller, like how we kill pain in our life, but it's like a way for us to get away from it.
Okay, tell me how we get some endorphins in my body.
Endorphins is through exercising.
Okay, like that. I like that.
Okay, so when you're lifting weights, you're moving your body. Okay, it's taking you away from like I say. When you're lifting a lot of weight, okay, or for instance, you're doing that sprint, are you thinking about your problems at that time?
No, I'm mad. No.
Okay, so this is why they say it's great to do exercise. Then we got into listening to music. When you listen to music, boom, you start nodding your head, hear that Michael Jackson beat, boom, you know what I mean?
And I'm music, man. I do a music show. So I always say to people, when I do it's called the Lift Show. And I say to them, every time I do this show, it lifts me up. You know what I'm saying? So forget you. I'm doing it for me.
Yeah.
If you want to enjoy it, enjoy my journey, man.
Then we've got watching a movie. Now, be careful with this one. Watching a movie.
Black Panther.
Love it, watching a movie. But however, we've got the kids watching computer games. This is the reason
watching
now.
Streams.
They're on computer games and they're getting an endorphin kick, not by movement.
But sitting down on the bottom,
playing computer games. Okay, cool. And that's the endorphin kick. That's why these kids will go crazy when you take them, take the mobile phone, take them computer games, take anything that's going to mess up their endorphins.
It's like they're addicted to it. Yeah.
So that's what they've done. They've got people on computer games now and being really addicted to it. But because we're old school, and we didn't have computer games, and we had to get our endorphins by movement.
Movement, yeah.
Okay, we've still got that there.
But I would have to go to your house to play computer games to do 2-player. We couldn't do that over no internet.
Yeah.
I had to bring the Mega Drive to your yard and say, yo, Mikey, let's play the game. And that's the difference.
Then we've got laughter. Laughter also brings, endorphins. Makes you laugh. And really, look at how many times we've been training. So you can imagine sometimes when we go to the gym, we're habit stacking some of these. We've got dopamine going on. We're achieving a goal. Okay, we're completing a task. We're also hitting self-care. Then you got your endorphins that you're doing exercise, listening to music. I'm always hearing great tunes and the rest of it. All right, and then we've got laughter.
Yeah, because I'm busting jokes. Yeah.
Okay, do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you got all these things that when you go into a community, you start working out. It's more than just going to the gym and just doing the exercise.
Yeah.
It's a combination. Yeah. Then we go into oxytocin, which is a love hormone. Okay, and that's built up by socializing.
Go on.
That's the reason why when you get together, it's a great thing. Now the problem is in modern day society now with the kids.
Yeah.
They're doing socializing via online gaming. But it's not the same that it's face to face.
No, it's not.
But it's still social. Oh, my friend's going out this time and I'll jump on. So they're missing the eye to eye contact.
The ability to understand that the way, because I saw my son talk to my friend one time. I said, Bridget, you can't talk to your friend like that. But because they're communicating through a device, I can't go to you, oh, Mikey, wait. But they can do that through the device because they can't talk them back.
Yeah. And
you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you can't, I don't say, I can't talk to Mike like that because it could be a scuffle out here. You know what I'm saying? But they talk to each other like that.
And you got to remember, when we're talking about communication, there's different ways in how to communicate. And body language is one of the most powerfulest ways that we communicate. How we look, our eyes, stance, shoulders back, head up, the rest of it. You can't do that in a computer game because you're playing a computer game and you're playing somebody else is acting as you on the game. Then on top of that, you're talking to somebody. You can talk the way you want to talk.
But it shows you the viralness of like iShowSpeed and all these guys, their lifestyle, which is all, and Kai, what's his name? Kai something, Kai Sent or something. So the socials with the dreads and stuff. Yeah, you got these. I try to watch their streams. I don't try to watch them. I bump into them on the feed. So I thought, let me see what the youths I'm watching.
Yeah,
and these are the most socially inept, on an inability to communicate with human beings, and they think it's okay. They might. I know they're not coming across with no manners, but the way they operate, you're thinking you could not last 20 years ago.
Yeah, but I'm saying is that it's in now. Yeah. It's in, and every kid is doing the same thing, and this is where the new generation's coming in. But they're forgetting, they're forgetting some of the fundamentals of about the other emotions. Like for instance, oxytocin. We've got physical touch. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're going to struggle with physical touch because they don't know how to, physically touch somebody. Okay, we've got petting animals. Okay. That also releases oxytocin and then helping others.
Yeah, I'm not an animal lover. I believe in, you know what I'm saying?
But you help others.
Yeah.
Just like this right now, we're connecting right now. We're connecting, trying to help others right now. Just for you to get more clear about where you are in life, what patterns you're running, and is that pattern really helping the person that you want to become, move into the future of yourself? Or do you just want to stay the same? And like I said, they always say, like, if you stay the same, like, are you living or you dying inside? That's the question I'm proposing to you. Yeah. Then we move on to serotonin, okay, which is, exposure to sunlight. Beautiful day today. If you're down in the UK
go
right
back
now,
outside, man.
Okay, the sun is shining. I got my shorts on. I'm like, I got my vest. Do you know what I mean? I'm ready to get some vitamin D. You know what I mean?
Vitamin D.
Yeah. Being around nature. And it was interesting. I was just with one of my clients and she's moved on the outskirts of Birmingham.
Come on now.
Okay. And she was saying, like, at the time when she moved, she was saying that I didn't really appreciate what I've got.
Wow.
But now she's like, you know what? I love being around nature.
Come on now.
And I think it's an age thing. When we're young, we want the city life.
City life, yeah.
And then when you get older, get to your 30s, your late 30s, 40s, you want more of the nature. You want to be around like 100%. Plants, greens, and do you know what I mean? And get that chance to be, that mindfulness. Okay?
Yeah, man.
Because mindfulness is another thing as well. Yeah, mindfulness is like being around what's going, being mindful about what's actually happening in the moment.
Yeah, man. No, that's big. Yeah. Nature's a big thing for me. I'm going to be doing, like I said, this year we're hopefully going to be doing with the over 40s men, go set up some walks. And when I'm trying out some of the photography skills that we could do with some of the young people, we're going to take them into nature. I said, listen, we're going to go out shooting today and we're going to use our cameras to shoot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, but take them into nature. but Trevor's like, yo, you know, the youngsters gonna be sleeping when they're in the car when they're going back because they don't exercise like that before. You know what I mean? Like just walking, bro. Just spending the whole day walking uses so much. You feel the next day you feel like, yo, what have I done? You know what I'm saying? All the hiking, it's mad thing, bro. It's madness.
Yeah, and the last one is meditation. The power of meditation is really, it's really great. I wasn't really somebody. At the beginning, I remember my journey when I first started to meditate. I was like, so I got to sit here and do nothing? I was like, what the hell does this mean? Like, I was so ADHD, moving around and the rest of it. But the power of meditation, to be able to sit still and just be, not think about anything, just be empty. Amen. And it took me a while. It took me a while in doing it. I would say at least a year of me going on and off. And then eventually I've got meditation to the point that I could be so drained. Okay, I could sit down do a 15-minute meditation, and it feels like I've had 8 hours sleep.
Yeah.
And it's just really getting my mind to stop running around racing and just be total relaxation. And I feel it in my body. I'm a feeler, I am. Where when I relaxing and I go into meditation mode, I feel my muscles get loose. They're not tight.
Yeah.
A lot of the time I'm walking around and I'll be honest with you, I'm a bit tight. That's why I'm constantly stretching. But when you go in that meditation state and you're at a certain frequency, you feel your body and your body just relax.
Okay.
Your mind, you're still present in the moment.
Yeah.
But also when you're present in the moment, everything sounds more louder as well.
Yeah. I think for me, growing up in a religious setting, meditation was a major thing for us. When we obviously in meditation, we wouldn't call it meditation. We would call it something different. We'll like prayer and whatever, and you're just zoning and so when it came to meditation now, there was a bit of a religious kind of like thing where we said, oh, you can't empty your mind. They're very anti-yoga growing up because of times. But for myself, I found it good. When for me, it's just being able to not so much blank. It's not about blanking my mind. For me, it's like when you're not succeeding in anything in a day. You zoned out. You just had lunch, and you just want to I put my foot on my table in my room, in my office there still, and I just put the time on for 10, 15 minutes, and I just,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just get the breath, then afterwards get my cup of coffee, and then I go again. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And I think it's important. And even when I feel like life is jumping on top of me, you know what I'm saying? And when you're doing your business, Mike, and you get people to calling you for this, calling for that, and you can't just take it over. You know what I'm saying? You feel your heart rate just going up. You go, why my heart rate so high? And you go into and just a case of, it sounds weird, breathing exercises. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's just like in a sense of, you need to ask yourself, when's the last time that in a day, you just lie down on your back on the floor and just spent there for about 7 minutes. Just do that. I guarantee you do that, it'll change your world for the day. You'll be like so energized when you do get back up. It's like recalibrating your energy, especially when you're at work, you're giving it, you're problem solving, you're figuring things out, you come with high energy, and then you don't switch off for that little bit just to say, for 5 minutes, I'm just going to lie on my back, do nothing. And I'm sure when we were kids, I don't know if you ever did this, when you were in infant school, did you ever used to lie down on the floor and just look at the sky, look at the sky, and just look at the clouds go right by for a few minutes?
You know what? Saying that, like at playtime, you took out at playtime and the grass, and you lean back. Especially at infant school, I would say, because remember, there was a time when you have nap time and they just say all the kids lie over there, and then when you get a little bit older, on top of that, you have the little grass area, you know what I'm saying, and you fall no way and looking up the sky, which is a thing that you probably did more often when you think you did.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying?
And this is the thing, as adults, we don't do that. We don't lie down, look at the sky and just take 5 minutes out. And if you tell me you can't do 5 minutes, have you really got a life? That's the question you need to ask, man. But 5 minutes, sitting down, look at the sky, wow, change your world.
And I think we don't have hobbies like we used to.
because hobbies, you achieve stuff. So people look at people like watching this watch this program about bird. It's one of them little quirky programs, detective program on Netflix. But the lady, she's the main person. She's a bird watcher. So when we say bird watchers, we laugh at them. You ain't go, the bird watching. But like you said, you achieve goals. So she's achieving goals every time. Train spotters, you look at them, them geeks, but their life is driven. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I'm going to find that train. I'm going there to see that train. That's my goal for today. So that each target is goals. And I think that, you know what, the question is to you out there, have you got a positive hobby, but you have goals in your life almost that you achieve? You know what I'm saying? So yes, you've got work, yeah, but what is your hobby? That's a question, right? What is your hobby? Work. Hobby? What do you like doing outside of I
suppose my hobby has always been training. It's to do with movement.
Yeah.
But I'm saying is that I'll make other hobbies to do with movement. Like for instance, squash.
Squash, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got there and I was totally rubbish at squash. You know, I'm so much better now. I still haven't beat the person I set out to beat. But however, you know what? I'm racket sports. I wanted to get better at racket sports. You know, but things like that, But I always say, for me, I'm a bit of a adrenaline junkie, so I like things that are very like, I feel like I'm going to die, so that way I can be really present in the moment and the best of me can come out.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if I'm not really doing that, it feels like I'm just drifting along life. I'm just going through the process.
I know what you're saying. I think for me, hobbies. Best thing is when you're an entrepreneur, you love what you're doing, and that's the problem. No, it's a great problem to have. But hobby-wise, I can't say football. Well, I can say football. Football is a great hobby to have over the years. I just love football from talking to it. Even some of the subjects I podcast on. You know what I'm saying? I would think it's a great hobby to have because, hobbies are things that you don't make. It is not a big money making thing. You just do. You know what I mean? Yeah. So certain shows that I do, it is absolutely, I feel good for hitting them certain things and having great conversation in them.
But, I've got a hobby in like learning about the latest technology, what's coming out. So I'm always trying out that. And like, that's always keeping me on my toes. A new app comes out or a new chat GTP or a new software, I'm going to spend the time, learn about it so I can develop it.
Yeah, I know you're good at that.
So I'm always evolving. The thing about it is you need to ask yourself, I always remember this thing, like we all remember Kodak, but where are they today? They didn't evolve. And if you're not evolving, you're not changing, and you're not learning, and you're staying still, and you're going to be obsolete. And I don't want to be obsolete. We're not obsolete people. In your 30s, in your 40s, there's still many more years in you. So keep on going. Don't give up on yourself.
Talk to him about Blockbuster.
I was saying Blockbusters.
Blockbusters, man, that's another classic that they never evolved with time. And Blockbusters was the place. Imagine, bro, 15 years ago, there's Blockbusters all over the place. 20 years ago. You did 20 years ago?
Yeah.
15? 20 years ago, definitely. Watching Back to the Future, all these different movies. Now, they just not. We don't. There's no more Blockbusters now. It's done. Finished.
Blockbusters. Yeah. Blockbusters is totally obsolete because they didn't move with the times.
Yeah.
And they got left behind.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when they thought that they were, the best, they realized that, we're moving through time period and we need to keep on evolving.
Yeah.
And it's the same with your training, a lot of training, your mindset, what you listen to, what you read, the people you hang around with. It all matters about where do you want. But the thing about it is, I'm going back to a marker mentality, you need to be clear on the feelings, the emotions that you want to experience in your life. And they may change. You may not get what you want, but you need to have your intentions about what is it you do want. So a lot of people come to me and say, Mike, I want to get fit. When I hear that, okay, I know that they're not very clear. And it's like, I want to lose weight. No, they don't want to lose weight. They want to feel more confident. That's what they want. Okay, they want to feel more confident. All right, how are we going to build on that confidence? Okay, we want to be able to do more. We want to have more confidence in our energy so we could do more. Okay? Because last time I looked in the mirror, I didn't need to get to a certain number on the scale for me to feel amazing. Do you know what I mean? Like you can have. I'm going to make it very clear. You can stand on the scale and be 10 stone and feel like crap. And I know people who've done that.
Yeah.
Or you can stand in the mirror. Okay, be a big weight, but you look and feel amazing because you got all shapes. You're nice and toned. Okay.
Yeah.
So when you're thinking about how you're looking to develop yourself and the energy you want to be like, really get clear about, I want to be able to run around with my kids for 30 minutes.
Yeah,
I want to be able to, have enough strength that if I have to pick up like 7 shopping bags, I can take it from up the top of the road down to the bottom of the hill. And I can do that back up and I can do it back up again.
He's a crazy one, bro. Yeah. Right. Let's talk to the man them at our age. Yeah. Now, you're saying something and they're thinking, I will never achieve that now. I can't walk. I used to be able to do sports. I'm limping now. I'm not in the mode. I don't have the money. I don't. Life is beating me down. Be sick up. Let's be real. I lost my mum last year. Got nobody. Got very little family ties, and you're just down. You know what I'm saying, bro? You're just down in life, and it's like they're looking at their children. How can I reclaim my life? How can I? You're talking. That's for you. A lot of things I've had Denzel on here talking about finances and about being better in your finances. We've been on here about a physical well-being. You know what I'm saying? But people look at us and go, "That's for you. You're lucky and fortunate." How I'm getting tired of this looking at us and saying that we're special. No, you know what I'm saying?
No.
How do you reach out to them so that we're here? It's a journey. Come on board. But what would you say as a coach? As a coach?
Yeah, it's a journey, and one thing is that listen, it's easy to get stuck in the mud. But I'm going to tell you something. Once you've been down, there can only be one way, and that's up. And it's about looking at we've got the past. The past is the past. Present's the present, and the future's the future.
Yeah.
The problem is you need to be clear about where you're actually living. Are you living in the past? And if you're living in the past, it's hard to then be in the present. It's hard to be in the future. If you're living always in the future, then you're not living in the present moment. Because you're always thinking, I can't do that because I might do this and that. Okay, does it make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
You met people like that. It's like, oh, I ain't going to do that because if I go over there, you know what's going to happen? I'm going to get hurt and the rest of it. Right. But all you can do is the present moment. And in the present moment, it's about, right, I'm here. How can I make the best safety or put the best things in place to get me moving forward on that day? So it may be like, okay, right, you know what? I've had all the things go well. I've lost my mom, lost my dad, wherever it is. What can I do at this precise moment to get me moving forward? It may be, you know what? The most basic things. Just get up and just start going for a walk and just be out with nature. That may be the best thing right now. Connect with the universe by just going for a walk. They always say it's hard to be sad and go for a walk.
Yeah. And this is one of the things where I like me. I don't have no dog, but I'm not intending to have any dogs or whatever. But I think through COVID, I actually understood the logic with dog owners. It forces them out every day to go for a walk, whether it's 1 mile or 1 kilometer. They have to move every single day, or the dog don't walk. And it's such a beautiful way of, as much as I can't stand dogs, of really engaging that healthy lifestyle. It's not high fitness, but it's.
It gets them out. Yeah. It's, you got to remember, let's look at the happy hormone. What they're doing, engaging with animals. Which is oxytocin.
Yeah.
Okay, they're getting some serotonin, they're out with the animal. And they're also probably getting a dopamine hit. Okay? In dopamine and endorphins. So they hit all 4 elements of the happy hormone when they take that dog for the walk.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's Was your growing up? Was your parents into animals?
Yes and no, but I wasn't allowed a dog. My dad would be like, no, I got cat.
Yeah.
But you gotta remember, my energy source comes from connecting. I'm a connector.
Okay.
So because I like being outdoors, I mean, like if I go out for a walk, well, you know me already. I'm gonna end up chatting to everybody. How you doing?
Okay, you're one of the guys.
Okay.
I'm not that guy. I'm that guy.
Okay, but I'm just saying.
I'm my business. But that's good. That's good.
I'm saying is that I'm a connector, so I'm gonna get laughter from somewhere. Okay, I'm gonna connect with somebody. I'm gonna help somebody.
Come on now.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, especially if I'm out with nature, I'm like, yeah, you know what? And I love endorphins. I'm a endorphin junkie. That's why I move around so much.
That's something that going into the summer, guys, I will encourage you not to go to the parks to litter, but to go to feel no way. Go to your local park if you can't get to parks too far away. You know, like we're in the base of the Handsworth area, and there's a massive, really nice park around the corner.
Yeah,
and there's what you find, there's always parks in these little areas where you can go to walk. And I think that a lot of times we hold. There's this guy when I drive in the local area down the Kisaning area. He's short, really, really short guy. I wouldn't want to call him a dwarf, but he's short, and he's got to have 2 sticks to walk. Yeah, but I see that brother walking everywhere. You know what I'm saying? He just keeps fighting. He's not letting that situation take him over. He's walking, fighting every day. You know what I'm saying? Going for that walk, and I'm like, yo, like. Keep him moving is if you stop moving, you're dead. You know, when you're in the battlefield, if you stop, you're dead. You're an easy target. And sometimes in life, we sit down, put the TV on, and just die in that seat right there. And that's what I feel for. And this is why mental health is something which I am going to be openly talking about and always connecting to. I say that, you know, positive, listening to music positively, you know what I'm saying? Listen to your favorite tunes, escape, it's positive escapism.
But you know, as well, like when we look at mental health as well, I find that mental health comes around about as well as people not being true to who they really are. And I'm saying is that they're working lesser than they should be. And because they're working lesser than they should be, that affects me even worse. They know that you should be doing these things to better their life, but they're not finding the energy or not doing what they should be doing. And then it makes them, puts them in a lower state where it's like, you know what, I said I was going to do that and I didn't do it. I'm a failure. And then if you've got any in a relationship, and especially with us guys, man, like I'm seeing a lot of guys, you know, lose their masculinity from them because due to the fact they're not taking care of themselves, they're not being how can I say, saying what they mean and mean what they say. So because they're not saying what they mean and mean what they say, you know, a partner may go, you know, I want you to, you know what I mean, go up the road and get a bottle of milk, and he's like, yeah, I'll do it later. And then the woman asks him a couple of minutes later, have you done it yet? And he's like, and then he gets late and he doesn't do it. And he was like, I'll do it tomorrow. Then it doesn't look like he's really being intentional and say what he means. Yeah. And if he don't say what he means, that mean, how can he look after her? Do you know what I mean? Wow. Then she's like, you know what? He can't even look after himself. So you know what? I'll do it myself. Yeah. And then the woman's like, you know what? Why do I need a guy for? And then the guy's like feeling even worse, like, you know, no, nobody wants me, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? It's a big thing right now. And then he goes to the gym and he's like, I don't even feel strong, man. I feel weak. And look at that person, he's strong. And then, do you see what I'm saying? Yeah. Then we going down a slippery slope of like his masculinity getting crushed. And his kids are like, you know, kid, don't eat that sweet or don't do this. And the kid's like, whatever, dad. Do you know what I mean? I'm doing it anyway. Then his authority level's gone. And then before he knows it, do you know what I mean? But if you switch it and you catch yourself, like, you know what? I'm going to hold myself with the highest integrity about what I want and what I want others to achieve, you know, what I want for myself. So I'm going to look after myself. Guess what? Anybody else around and be like, yo, that dude looks after himself, man. Yeah. When he says it, he means it.
Yeah.
And because he says it and means it, I ain't messing with him.
Yeah.
Because that guy's integrity.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
And that's what I'm saying. We're losing as men. We're losing that integrity.
Yeah.
And we're not being intentional. And we're not being intentional.
Jeez,
then
man.
a woman's not going to see us on the warrior that should be. And you need to ask ourselves, Tony talks about archetypes, different type of people we are. You got to remember, the lover is not the same as the warrior, the person who's going and cutting down the forest and going to get the family. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or the joker who makes people laugh. Okay. But we got to know who we're being at that precise time in the day and in that moment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Imagine, I'm going to do my personal best or I have to be at that person who comes to work because I need to be that person that saves people. Okay?
Yeah.
And then you turning up and you're in the joker mode.
Yeah.
And then the person's asking you to do something, you're like, you can look at the person and go, he ain't taking me serious, is he? He's not here to serve me. He's here to waste time. He's, go get another job, man. You can just have a laugh. You should have been a comedian.
Wow. And I think that that's I guess a good number of a few points. And I think that, I think we've allowed ourselves to slip. Yeah. And I think it's almost a divide and conquer because we don't get together and talk and cross notes. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? When we train together, Mike, we cross notes in life. We cross life notes. So we got sons that are the same age. So we cross life notes. Yeah. So we go, wow, I did this. And you know what I'm saying? We're not saying we take direct advice, but we cross notes and the lack of spaces to cross notes right now for men. In a positive arenas, in positive, not places where it's a negative environment, you can do something stupid straight away afterwards, but in spaces where you go into the gym, you're being positive, and you go, yo, man, how's the week been? It's been crazy, man. My picking them just doing my head. He said, yeah, it's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? So you we don't have spaces where you cross notes. You come from business, you're struggling, ceilings. Glass ceilings in our workplaces, glass ceilings because of what you look like, inspired by other businessmen. I've been to Mikey's space and hear about other people that own restaurants and this and that. They've come to the country after a decade and they've owned buildings, building this, building that. It makes me think, it's like I'm born here and I can't do that. I can't step up no matter what's, they've come through seeing their country flattened and come here and making themselves something out of nothing. You have to go, it inspires me to go, you know what, I can do it. You know what I'm saying? No matter what, so I think being in spaces in silos and just being by ourselves as individuals, we've then just not communicating with each other's lives has actually destroyed us. And this is what, guys, for me, this is why I always beat up Mike despite that we're going to be doing sharp talk a lot more often. Yeah, we're gonna be talking to different people, and I want to reach out. I'm not meant to be here all the time. I'm just here just to make sure that I'm the filler guy. Yeah, so I want to see other people with fitness journeys. I want to say to people, other fitness instructors through different methods, different specialism. Fitness is not just about losing weight. You know what I'm saying? It's about people getting over operations. You know what I'm saying? Yourself. There's a rehab element to it. You know what I'm saying? Of getting you've had things against you, and it's just. There's so many different things about community, so many things about it. And I think that we want to encourage people to get engaged with it because it's positive for you.
It is. Building a connection and staying in a positive environment.
Yeah, man.
I always say I love getting in challenges and this. I always say, sometimes I think we shy away from challenges because we feel we're going to fail. We're not going to be able to achieve anything. But you just remember, you're always challenging. It's always you against you. And regardless if you lose or win, as long as you can get to the next level of your mind, your body, your mindset, you've won anyway. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like I've battled a guy for coming to 2 years of playing squash and he's beat me. But however, am I a better player than I was when I first walked in?
Of course,
100%.
Yeah, man.
Have I reached another level? 100%. Do you think that guy's beating me, but do you think any other people could beat me? Do you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, sometimes you got to lose to win to get better. Don't expect to turn up and be good. Because as soon as you expect, that's the baddest recipe for feeling down about yourself.
Yeah. No, 100%. So, what target do you want to give to people, man? Just say encouragement. What target? What would you as a closing comment? What would you say? A closing comment to people you want to say, man? In sharp talk, what's the sharpness we're gonna sharpen up, man? Where we gonna
sharpen up? I'm gonna say to you,
that's where we're not saying sharpening pencils, We're not sharpening pencils. We exchange it for markers, yeah.
The question is, what would you like to achieve or experience instead?
Man, just dropped you like that,
Yeah.
The room just went quiet, man.
Yeah, the question is, like I said,
wow.
What would you like to experience instead? And just leave that to ponder when you're going through any life challenging situations, difficulties, or you becoming from what you once was.
Yo. Close it off, man. Close it off, man. Yo, just say goodbye to everybody. On that note, guys, we're going to let you put the comments on this, man. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you like, subscribe, everything out there, man. But listen, guys.
Body Sharp,
makes sure that we do it, bro.
Okay, Mikey Spice. And just remember, see me on bodysharpfitness.com, or you can catch me on my Instagram, which is Body Sharp Mikey Spice, or Body Sharp Transformations.
Big up. Love for that, brother.
Make sure to comment, like, share, and subscribe. Listen, if you are an influencer or you've had an amazing journey, I want to hear about it. So message me and we'll get you on the show. Let's go, people. Sharp Talk time.
Visit us for updates and shows at affinityextra.co.uk.